Surveillance systems have been implemented all over the world in hopes of reducing crime. But just how effective are they really? While the video evidence adds validity to this woman's story, it does little in terms of actually identifying the culprit of the crime. Since criminals are aware of the presence of these cameras, they take steps in order to conceal their identity, thereby making it more difficult for the victims to identify the perpetrator of the crime. Additionally, public surveillance has not been very successful in preventing crime, but rather it simply relocates crime to another area.
In your eyes, what is public surveillance?
Well, I would think following someone.
To me, that would be like having cameras around the streets and buildings and whatnot, like in an area like this, having some cameras up that would monitor the area.
I guess just people people in authority just watching people that have interest, I guess.
Surveillance is like cameras in public places, things like that.
Public listening to each other. Would you be willing to sacrifice your privacy for it?
A certain amount, not all of it, but there's got to be a balance of it invading your privacy. Like right now, I don't think they're really invading our privacy too much.
Probably.
Yeah, I've got nothing to lose. I'm not out there doing bad things. The guys who are worried about that stuff are the people that are doing something wrong.
I would say probably no, but again, it would depend.
The general conception of public surveillance is that it is done mostly through cameras. But the truth is, there are many mediums of public surveillance. This was recently brought to light by Edward Snowden, who leaked highly classified documents shedding light on how the National Security Agency, or NSA, was infringing upon human rights. Some of the things they were doing included tapping the calls of American citizens, weakening encryptions to gain access to private information on the internet, and keeping over 35 world leaders under constant surveillance.
Would you feel safer if there was more surveillance?
I'm not from Vancouver, but there sure is a lot of cops down here, so I don't know what goes on, but obviously there's a lot of suspect people that do a lot of stuff down here.
Well, I would suppose whoever is surveilling me, I wouldn't. I feel that we all need to protect each other and watch out for each other, and if we're helping each other out on the street, that's good, but if you have individuals walking around for that protection, sure, I think that's okay.
Not really. I think there's diminishing returns, like you could lose a lot of your privacy. And then, I'd rather have a bit of privacy.
What is your opinion of Edward Snowden?
I don't even know who that is.
Well, I feel that sometimes people get involved in situations for what they feel is the better of a situation or the good of all. And it depends on individuals who may be influencing him as well. It's too bad. I am a really patriotic person, and so I feel that that's unpatriotic if you seek out other governments or individuals to give them certain information.
I know it's sort of a double-edged sword. Like, I understand the governments are very upset, but people are like, hey, yeah, like maybe this guy has a point. So I feel like it brings light to a topic that needs discussing in Canada, North America.
I kind of appreciate it. I'm a big fan.
I think he's a pretty good guy. He called them out for what they were doing. He thought they were doing something wrong, so I think it was good.
While most people are aware of mass surveillance being a growing concern in the Western world, it is also rising prominently across the globe. The government of Bahrain has purchased surveillance technology from Germany that allows them to monitor the phone calls and text messages of its citizens. They have used the information to locate and torture human rights activists. Activists in Syria have had their computers infiltrated by pro-government hackers who use sophisticated viruses to capture passwords. Additionally, They monitored their online activities, in turn sending the information to a state-run telecommunications company. The influences that surveillance has upon Western cultures are subtler than those in third world countries, but are equally as intrusive. The Canadian version of the NSA, known as the Communications Security Establishment of Canada, or CSEC, is stockpiling various kinds of information about its citizens, classified as metadata.
Do you think that the government has any right to be stockpiling personal information, such as your telephone records, emails, and internet usage, even if they have no intention of using it?
If you're not doing anything wrong, what's the end of the world? You know, they're not using it against you. They're not doing anything with them. If you're doing something wrong, then obviously they'll be, you know, they're doing the right thing for the people that are doing stupid things right. You know, obviously if guys are going to get caught doing that stuff, then they're going to make a safer community. So
I don't know. That's one of those sticky questions. It all depends on who's using it at the end of the day. But as long as it's not like corporations getting a hold of it, I don't really have a big problem with it.
I would say no. No, I think it's really necessary. And in this day and age, we have a dangerous situation where people are hidden within our country that really want to do us harm. So you've got to kind of balance that as best you can.
No, I don't think they do have the right, but again, it's like a double-edged sword. I can kind of see why they would want to keep an eye on stuff like that. They're probably looking for keywords and phrases and whatnot, so I understand that they're looking out for the greater good, but that still puts a weird stigma on it for people. So.
While they claim that this information is not being used for anything, it is still worrying to know that they have access at all times. It could be stated that if someone does nothing wrong, they have nothing to worry about. Unfortunately, this is not the case. As Edward Snowden so eloquently put it,
even if you're not doing anything wrong, you're being watched and recorded, and the storage capability of these systems increase every year consistently by orders of magnitude, where it's getting to the point where you don't have to have done anything wrong. You simply have to eventually fall under suspicion from somebody, even by a wrong call. And they can use this system to go back and scrutinize every decision you've ever made, every friend you've ever discussed something with, and attack you on the basis to derive suspicion from an innocent life and paint anyone in the context of a wrongdoer.
because of rapid advances in technology, no one knows where it will be 10 years from now. Public surveillance has already reached a whole new level in Minnesota. License plates of cars are being scanned to create vehicle location records using GPS data. Advanced cameras are mounted on poles throughout St. Paul and Minneapolis that are able to convert captured images to license plate numbers. The technology has also been adapted to squad cars, allowing it to cover practically any road. The information is kept for 90 days, allowing detailed maps of vehicle movements to be created.
In Minnesota, the license plates of cars are scanned to create detailed maps of where cars have been using GPS technology. How would you feel if this was implemented in Vancouver?
Love it. I was born in Minnesota. You know, that's nothing wrong with that at all. You know, if you're a suspect and if you're a suspect person doing suspect things, you get caught. And unfortunately, it's not soon enough because a lot of them make a lot of money and get away with a lot of stuff. So, hey, go ahead.
I wouldn't like that.
Well, I think it's unnecessary and it's a waste of money.
I don't really know. That might be a little bit too much intrusion on people's life.
Even more frightening is the Kingfisher surveillance transceiver, manufactured by the same company, which allows its users to mine information from mobile phones. It cannot intercept communication, but it can detect phone numbers being dialed. It can also track the movement of cell phones, and in turn, the person with it. The US government has spent over $30 million on this kind of technology within the last 10 years.
Do you think there are better methods of keeping the public safe?
I don't know.
Probably. There most likely are. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. Whether you could say more police enforcement, but do we really want to have police trudging around all these public areas? Surveillance definitely would help in certain public areas. I'm sure there's probably a better answer to that question, but I think that there are probably better ways.
Probably, but it's it's a good way, for sure.
Public surveillance has integrated itself into our society in huge ways. If nothing changes, it will continue on the course that has been set and become even more substantial for the generations to follow.